pushing limits. You picked me up on MyStreet in your car. Think the whole world stopped for a minute. I just felt something sitting next to you that I can't explain. It was all something different. I just felt something, yeah, I felt something with you. Take me back to all those times we would get away, only you and me. Because honestly, it felt so right just to be with you. Even if I could, wouldn't change a thing. Wouldn't change a thing. I think about our weekends down the block, just hanging with our friends and playing all our favorite songs on that old and broken jukebox. And I never thought we'd grow up. Yeah, we stayed out late, didn't wanna go home. When the stars came out, we would play on top of buildings. And I felt something that I haven't felt since then. Take me back to all those times we would get away, only you and me. Because honestly, it felt so right just to be with you. Even if I could, wouldn't change a thing. Wouldn't change a thing. I still see us driving in your car down the highway. We didn't want to stop. Just two kids who were doing what they wanted. Started out on MyStreet, yeah, and those were the best days I've had. And I want it back. Yeah, I want it back. Take it back to take me back to take me back to all those times we would get away, only you and me. Because honestly, it felt so right just to be with you. Even if I could, wouldn't change a thing. 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 Wouldn't change a thing.
Well, lords and ladies, welcome back to MyStreet 5 years later, with your host who forgot to keep the screen on, Jacob Butter. Ah well, it's something always has to go wrong in one of these. I also can't find my mouse, so that's also something. Not to mention as well that as soon as I unpacked my computer, used it for the first time, well, second time actually, it seemed like, it was making this very annoying whirring noise, which turns out just meant there was a bunch of dust in it, which I did manage to solve. But if not, then I will have to make a huge loud noise to compensate for the other loud noise instead. Oh my goodness. So, in any case, I guess here we are, at the end. I mean, always knew this day would come, obviously, It's rare that I start something that I know is finite and then I'm able to see it through to its conclusion. Obviously, MyStreet 3 is like the prime example of the first time that happened, and I got so sad it ended, I extended the series into a second season, which then lasted for way too long and overstayed its own welcome. This one, of course, was always dictated by whichever day the videos were uploaded. 5 years after that day, that's when the review happened. And, we've had a couple misses here and there, basically, for my kind of like mini-series where I wasn't like sure the exact upload time frame or when, or, what order to place them in. Obviously, there's the fact that we had to like move to Twitch, essentially, when the video started getting taken down, and I got a whole community guideline strike over it. But despite all of that, we've made it. Well, we've almost made it. We've got one more video to get through. One last time, like the new season, which didn't exist at the time. And just for the record, just because it seems like this was fate, for every one of these streams, another consistent thing I've been doing is that I have partaken in popcorn and milk. I thought that was a good gimmick at the time, and I realized that eating during stream and trying to talk over it was not a good idea, so I didn't do that for Gacha Review. But of course, because of the Levi drink, that was couldn't exactly stop that gimmick. So that's one thing that also I've seen through to its completion. And lo and behold, if you haven't noticed, I'm back in my old setup because I've gone back. I flew back to the UK today. That's the reason this stream was late. If you want to do this on Twitch right now, obviously if you want to get tomorrow on YouTube, it'll be on the same time, same place. 5 years later. Yeah. But my point is that I got back, rummaged around to see what there actually was, in the cupboards, and I found this. And that is significant because this is the exact same brand of popcorn that I bought when I randomly went and made like an impulse purchase in Liverpool in 2020 when this series started. Because I mean, 5 years later was not something that I was sitting on for a long time. I was like, oh, the 5th anniversary is coming up soon. I should do something for that. I should do something for that consistently for the next 4 years of my life. And since then I've left university. I've got a different job at a different school. Have managed to monetize the channel, mostly due to this series. At least like the early portions of it, and essentially worked through my favorite show at the same rates that originally came out, which is something that I didn't do because last time I joined when Phoenix Job High was already made and season 2 was just getting started. So yeah, here we are. I said that already. One more video to go, and I don't know how we're going to sign this one off, quite honestly. And it's interesting. If anyone's... I guess if I was watching this now, it's on Twitch now, so I can't really get the usual guests or anything. But we have got one comment. It's finale time. It's finale time! What's that audio one song that goes as the finale countdown? Final countdown, but close enough. Perfect way to get me to say, I must go for the freak show, the meet and go rip off. Oh! That's it. I forgot about that name for it. That is fantastic. Oh my goodness. Yeah, speaking of projects that never end, life starts. Even though Freak Show was going to be a rip-off, I still want to add my own flair and make it a bit more original. Yeah. I mean, obviously Go With A Tail by William already going to beat you to that. Would have been very poetic if William were here right now, actually, since he was, I think, the first guest on 5 years later. I'm just going to send him a random thing here. For the final 5 years later. I sent one out to Aiden as well, because I'm sure that he would want to offer his 2 cents on this episode particularly, but never mind. Okay. Right, yeah, so we've got Ned as our Roku main character, so shy nerd. Ev is the mum-like friend, who's also an elf. And Bear is the quiet, non-binary human, who's also an artist. I want to make them more dimensional than that. I mean, that is essentially what you boiled down the original trio's, gimmicks, essentially, and added, like, one gender change, which, I mean, is a start. But yeah, we'll see. I like how the song we played at the intro said wouldn't change a thing, and here we are talking about this. But anyway, enough about that. I couldn't get any of the old guests on for today, but we do have our new guest, the one who's been watching this specific series with us, for the final bit, and has been very patient as I reminisce about the past that he was not a part of. So, welcome, Vin.
Yeah, no, it's chill. Your coughs absolutely boom when you have the echo on, by the way. They hit.
Oh, yeah, and no one talked about the echo again, even though the people in the chat. Great.
Hey, I waited.
I mean, I wish you hadn't, but,
I forgot
okay.
there's a private chat. So, this is the second time it's happened. But also, I'm new to this. Well, in general, I'm new to streaming. I'm still trying to remember what is and isn't here.
That's also a 5 days tradition, me forgetting that I had the reverb on the whole time.
I mean,
don't really have that high. That was just from the the plane ride. The fact that it just like bumped itself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully we get at least one of the older guests back before we end this one off. But I mean, I'm here. I joined in extremely late to the point at which we're pretty much until at probably 2030 going to. This is going to be the last of 5 years later. But I mean, you're inevitably going to end up watching all of this again by forcing me to watch all of this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm still going to talk about the show. Yeah, and of course, like this will free me up for things like my personal top 10 list, which is compared to like aphmau's ones that I've been talking about recently. Not to mention also maybe I'll do some other bit more elaborate MyStreet content like I used to. With things like maybe some character dives, some more theories. I also want to do this like mini series called Sink or Swim, which is all to do with talking about. Oh no, sorry, it was Sink or Sail. That was it. It was called Sink or Sail because it's talking about ships. I thought I could start with the MyStreet characters. Maybe if that goes well, expand it out to talk about like other pairings in media that people like send me for recommendations. That's
Jacob be shipping everyone. Jacob be shipping everyone.
I am not, and that is why I'm the purpose to analyze those things because I can look at them with a bit more of.
You ship more than I do.
I mean, sure, but yeah, compared to the average person, compared to the average aphmau fan, actually, as well, definitely not the case.
I am. See, I've been trying to keep the slightly progressive bit that I am not here at all because because I'm interested in this show at all. I have absolutely no interest. But as you can tell, it is definitely built.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're here. And again, hopefully we get at least one of the old guests. But Aiden being here would be hilarious, but who knows? It's a Saturday. So most people are probably working. But we started an hour late, so maybe they're able to get here because we started an hour late.
You think for the Americans that would actually be more convenient for them, but we'll see.
And in the same vein as Quest of the Rising Sun, I'm eternally open.
Yes, that is true. I meant like most other people, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, gotta have the echo filter on for that one.
It would have sounded so funny though. Just. I can just imagine the echo filter still being on as you open up that bag and pour it into, like, just in the most ASMR way possible. You open the bag and pour it into the bowl right in front of the microphone.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if many echo ASMRs. Although that could be an interesting idea. What would an echo ASMR be like?
We get too many interesting ideas these days, Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad we can't go through with all of them, but we go through with what we think we should go through.
That is true. Yeah. Although then again, I'm gonna have a little bit more of a content vacuum now, so we'll see.
Yes, the vacuum.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. But well, we've delayed it for long enough. So I guess let's begin. Without further ado,
Yep.
on with the review.
Annabelle. Been honestly.
Okay, that is the opening. Just him saying "God tells me Annabelle." There's no like opening credits.
Oh,
or, like,
okay. I
opening
was
shot
confused.
this time.
I was confused. Yeah.
I was confused too. I thought they might have like removed something, but then I looked back at my old review from 5 years ago, and it's exactly the same, and my reaction was identical.
I got to dance
Just-
with Annabelle. Been honestly
for a couple
get closer
seconds.
to her.
Also,
Is
I
the
think, I
milk
think that's
warm?
the no.
Oh,
Also, I think that's the same book in the background. And
yes.
one more green-eyed person, and someone headbutting the wall. I guess they're in timeout.
Yes. We love reading Monster Hotel.
Monster Hotel. Sounds like the worst has-been rip-off ever.
Than I ever would have on my own. I feel like I can die happy now.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I'm just establishing that last episode would have been a satisfying conclusion if things didn't go the way that certain like people wanted behind the scenes, and they had to make cutbacks out of nowhere. Last episode could have actually worked in that regard, and we don't need to do this. But
I'm very
well.
scared for what's going to happen this episode, purely based on what you and Aiden have implied, let's say, and what the title implies.
Oh yeah, I haven't told you the title that I gave my old review yet.
We'll save that for later.
Yeah, we'll say that for later.
Well, I'd assume after this you're
Oh, also apparently he's sitting down. I didn't see his legs. Which, by the way, looks like they've been cut off.
going to.
He
start
has
helping
no
me.
legs. His legs are the chair. He is just a living chair.
My effing legs, Wicco. They've become a chair.
Right?
Oh, geez, calm down, Hunter. It's not like I'm gonna just forget my promise or anything.
Why is she in a training? Oh, I guess maybe she's already got changed.
Yeah.
It's weird to get already get changed and then and then have your food. I put it on the other way around.
What?
I mean, come this afternoon, whether I make the team or not, I want to see you and Annabelle have at least some kind of relationship, you know?
Kiss.
Whether it's just as friends or more. I'm kind of invested now. I mean,
Oh no,
we're
Keori's
friends
invested.
ourselves,
Yeah, as are we all, we the audience.
right?
We, the audience, are as invested.
Mm-hmm. What's that gold chilica thing on Hunter's uniform?
Probably a school emblem or something.
Yeah, a school emblem or a badge of some kind. Yeah.
Badge of honor. He is like just a U.S. military badge of honor.
I was thinking more like whatever the American equivalent of like a prefect badge is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then why would I just leave my friend hanging like that, huh?
Hey, you commit many
I mean-
petty crimes, so I mean, you might.
Well, I mean, she'll commit petty crimes, but in his name, of course.
Obviously. I mean, so
yeah.
would Ruby, but Ruby's crimes aren't petty.
Yeah. Also, having Aiden mentioned the imbalance, having looked at that now and seen that Keori has definitely not left her friend hanging at any point. Like the stuff that she's gone through to make this happen, she's got much of a reason for this to pay off as he does.
Look in the background. Somebody's getting yelled at.
Yeah, for falling asleep on the table, I suppose.
Yeah. I guess so.
Besides, you've been training me without fail, and honestly, Annabelle deserves someone like you.
Man,
You
I
can
wonder
train
why
me
we
without
haven't
fail
seen any
off screen.
Off screen. Yes, all of this happens off screen. We don't care about the track portion. This is purely about a fledgling relationship that will inevitably fail.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's kind, generous, and who thinks of others. I just want to see you both happy, you know? So no matter what happens after the scrimmage today, we'll still be friends.
Mm-hmm.
What? First bell already?
Ah,
Yeah, can't
Got
believe
it.
it.
Hold on, first bell, and she's wait. So
burger
is the
breakfast.
track is the track team you're like well, she took his advice. She was having breakfast. Okay, fair enough. But also,
Well, also because she's got a scrimmage coming up. She's got to make sure she's fed.
true, yes. But is the scrimmage first period? First bell? Is that what
Who
is that what it's
knows?
implying here?
Who
Okay.
knows? We are about to
I
find
gotta
out.
get going to change. I'll see you in class.
The
She gotta
change.
keep going to so she's okay. So she came to school wearing that, I guess, train or whatever before
Probably
before
morning
school,
training.
and then had a burger for breakfast, which I what school serves burgers at breakfast time?
Schools
and
that
then,
can't afford to buy breakfast and they only can afford to buy lunch food. So like, we gotta feed them breakfast. Let's just feed them lunch foods.
are breakfast foods more expensive?
Well, beef mince is usually cheaper than eggs.
Interesting.
Well, actually, no. It depends on where you live.
Well, okay then.
American Japan school. That's gonna be
Yeah, my point really is that is that, you know, aside from that particular point, that was like an aside thing. My main thing was pointing out that she came to school without like changing at all, and then decided like, okay, I'm gonna waste time, and then I'm gonna just instead of getting changed first and then coming here to talk with Hunter. But anyway,
yeah, that's a plate on the table.
yeah, I mean. It's not completely out of left field. Obviously, schools would most likely have
Yeah, no,
trays
not that.
rather than plates.
I love
but,
how the table almost fully starts to blend in with the floor. I can barely see the table. It honestly looks like Keori just ran off of a rug.
Yeah,
because
actually, I think the I think the school from having like explored the map very briefly that this school was based on, I think that the floor is actually a combination of different types of stone, like actual just Minecraft stone.
Looking at
So
it,
potentially that's why the table looks like that.
I'm looking at it closely. I see regular stone, and that might be clay.
And there we go.
Yeah, see ya.
They're still being yelled at.
Wait. Why does my heart feel weird?
He's got heartburn. No way. That's what you get for eating.
Burger.
That's what you get for eating burgers for breakfast. You get heartburn.
But he didn't eat the burger.
And we don't know. He might just be a very fast eater.
I gotta get going to class.
Yes, go to class. The first period bell already rang.
Yeah. Wait, also, hold on. What was the line that he said afterwards that we were talking over?
It's just shortness of breath.
Oh,
Shortness
okay.
of breath. It's heartburn. My man's getting heartburn.
I thought I heard him say burn when we were talking over him, so I just wanted to go back.
Yeah, shortness of breath, pain in the chest. That's just heartburn. Congratulations, Hunter. You're learning about heartburn. You're not in love.
Also,
you just have heartburn.
Yeah. Also, these two in the bottom right corner. It's not the right shade of. It's not the right shade of hair, nor is it like the for for the girl, nor is it the right I guess like texture of hair for the guy. But they do resemble Lucinda and Ivan a little bit.
I don't know who either
I'm
of
not
those
sure if that
characters
was
are.
the.
So okay.
Yeah. Well, again, you'll meet them later.
Inevitably, you've made it to your first period. Congratulations. There's an
Hunter?
And there it is. For the first time, she says his name, which again could have been a case of her learning it from when Keori said it last episode in her presence. After Hunter pointing out that Annabelle never said it, so maybe she was like deliberate on that. But actually, hold on.
Hunter?
And twice.
Huh?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You look a little ill, which is why I asked.
Because he has heartburn.
I just wanted to thank you for the dance at Snow Coming. It was
amazing.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it was really nice.
I forgot
He's
about
not
this
blushing.
bit. I forgot that she started blushing. I remember that he didn't, but I forgot that she did.
Hunter with heartburn. Who would have thought? Ugh. Me and Jacob both absolutely dying of a cough. The difference is Jacob has a liquid. I don't.
Yeah.
Wait, you said my name.
Huh?
Nothing. It's just I thought I'd die hearing my name from you.
I thought I'd die. What?
I just thought you didn't know my name. Crazy, right?
What? Why would you think that?
Because they dragged on a joke for 10 episodes.
Well, I mean, they never. Annabelle wasn't even in episode 9.
Okay, right.
Episode 9 was also its own thing, though. Episode 9 was the episode where, if you have not seen anything before the series, the implications hit harder than a semi-truck.
Yeah. Running with you is similar in the vein of like the the cameo from the previous show that is also set at the same time as.
So obviously,
Angle.
the first Vin views has to be running with you.
Honestly, yeah, that would be kind of that'd be a good place.
Good place to start after watching Phoenix Drop Days, running with you, and I get another episode of what the hell was happening. I didn't watch that. I didn't watch the series beforehand. I'm heavily confused. Are they really implying that? I don't think they're implying that, but for a newcomer, wow, they're implying that.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, not a bad idea.
I mean, I've been helping you with English tutoring, so of course I know my favorite pupil's name.
That's not.
Yeah.
I saw it written on all of your school books.
I was wondering if you had any plans this weekend, or...
Ooh.
Wait, what?
Miss Rivera, you're late.
Oh man, come on.
There it is
assume
again.
You slept in.
Mr. Diaz.
No way. I was actually on school grounds at 7 a.m., believe it or not. I actually had breakfast at the cafe. Why didn't you tell
whole
us they
burger.
serve breakfast in the morning?
You know
Well, what other time are we gonna sell? But this.
Yeah,
sell
what other time are
breakfast?
they gonna get bored? What other time are you gonna get bored eating breakfast?
Okay, that was a bit. That was a bit of a weird like line delivery, essentially. Which again, Keori's his VA has had quite a few of those, more so than the other than the other VAs in this particular series. It has to be said. But this is like the first example where it really like changed the context of the line, because he's shocked that they serve breakfast at all. So it should have been something like, "Why did you tell me they serve breakfast in the morning?" or something. Not, "Why did you tell me they serve breakfast in the morning?"
Well, I mean, it's a burger, so at the same time, it doesn't make sense. Like, that's something you eat at lunch, so it makes sense that breakfast at lunch.
Mm-hmm.
We
Well,
love a
then
good
again,
brunch. Yeah, well, then again, I would almost.
it's been
My
pointed out
dying.
that this. It's been pointed out that the maid cafes in this universe serve cheeseburgers, so everything's off the table there.
Well, I mean, this place is
Or on
half
the table.
American. This place is half American. Everything greasy, fried, and all around heartburn-inducing is on the menu.
I guess that makes sense for the maid cafes as well.
all that info is available on the school website, right?
Who
Didn't
goes
your
to the
voice
school
just get
All
more
website?
students
tired?
check.
Oh no.
Yeah, which first of all, yeah, again, 2002, a school website was a very novel concept at this point. So, yeah, most likely
obviously,
wouldn't.
it's on the school Snapchat.
If they can, I Snapchat years before it existed. Oh no. And of course, we still have been reacted to Ghost Font, making the confusing plotline young be made for the show
What
Ghost
is
Girl.
Ghost Girl?
Well, it is a series that actually, I started watching like during 5 years later, because this is when like I first met Ghost Kitty, where she actually sent me like a couple of things for just to watch like as a bonus video at the end. This is before Gacha Review turned into a live series. It was still pre-recorded by this point, so I looked at I looked at all of the Ghost Girl episodes, and yeah, they were interesting.
Just
But yeah,
interesting.
the remake isn't out
No,
yet, as far as I know. But the original is still very much there. And oh my,
I am nervous because I feel like I know where this episode is going, and I'm gonna hate if that's where this
I think
episode is going.
yeah, okay, yeah, for this episode, as far as Ghost Girl goes, think about like how we did like how I did the visuals in Quest of the Rising Sun, but without the excuse of like the show being live
Being
and
live,
therefore having to like
being
drag and
improv, and the only person who actually knew what was happening wasn't willing to tell you anything that was actually happening, because that's just how
So-
D&D works.
yeah, like that's how D&D works. Yeah, so yeah.
You know, I'm gonna text one of my friends right now because they want to see me on stream.
Oh, well, okay. You could. Right.
I'll keep going. It says I need to see what happens.
Oh, Keori. Just, let me know if you have time, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Silence.
Okay.
What are you guys talking about?
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
what the? He got hit by a tomato. Just.
Yeah, he sure did. And bear in mind, this is like after Keori appeared in the room as well. Like when I watched this like the first time, I was more appalled by the fact this is happening in the first place, and it happened so quickly out of literally nowhere. Because last episode that was like it was like one glance he had, and that was it.
Yeah. See,
that's like
because
I've got at straws there to try and justify it. But that was me back then. Now I'm questioning how Keori got there so fast and like snuck up so quickly.
we know
yeah, sure,
Keori
fine,
can
for stealth, but
transmission. We know Keori can instant transmission. We know this. It's
Yeah,
but
that's what you should be more shocked about.
What's confusing me? So Hunter pretty much fully like twitches his head over to Keori and goes tomato, as if he actually got hit by a tomato, and then the recoil sent his head turning.
Yeah, Hunter should have like not been like as shocked that Keori was there because he saw her enter the room before anyway.
Hey, listen, instant
Nothing?
transmission hits sometimes.
Really?
Oh, look, there's a girl that's asleep again. There's like a whole
Round
story
two.
about.
Round 2, fight.
There's like a whole story about like the different extras in this series. Actually, that's kind of fascinating.
By the way, Keori, ever thought about getting an alarm clock?
I swear, Annabelle, I was here early.
You sure?
Hunter,
We
vouch
saw
for
it, but
me.
still.
Wait!
Come on,
That
vouch. What do
reminds
you...
me. Keori,
Oh, never mind.
how'd it go with Aiden at homecoming?
Psh, I knew you'd ask about that. It was actually pretty nice. He seems like a really nice guy, honestly.
Well, I mean, of course eggs
I'm
are
glad
nice.
you-
They are, and less expensive than minced meat apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with eggs, it always. Well, I mean, for an egg to be nice, it always depends how you cook it. Sunny side up, fried, poached. Personally, I thought Aiden looked sunny side up, but just to represent how there's a sunny side to everything. Aiden is the sunny side up egg.
Yeah. No, this is just men are like eggs. Depends on how they're cooked as to whether or not they'll be any good or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
good
it
for you.
again, it depends where you live. In Japan,
And it's not dependent on
sometimes
how hot they are. It's not dependent on how hot they are. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in Japan, sometimes we just eat them raw.
What do you mean we?
We Japanese people.
You told me you're Vietnamese. I'm not falling for that.
I thought you would.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And probably most people in the friend in this group would have too. They
Yeah,
would
unless they
definitely
saw the
both.
stream where you like told people the story about that.
What the story? Nah, I'm not gonna make that reference right now. Oh, I wonder what they're reading now.
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Wait, it's
that
the
book
green
looks...
pages. It's the green pages. The Shrek book.
Oh, never mind. It's too smudged. I remember there was like a particular like book.
Okay,
in
it
this
looks
mall
like the
that was
word
written by, like,
history.
a...
It
Yeah,
looks like the word
I
history.
know. I was talking about could I read like the rest of it, but no, it's just squiggles. Because there's a particular book that's a particular book in the lore that's written by a character called Zoe Talathiel, who is not a character in MyStreet, but was a character in Minecraft Diaries.
Hey, it's got the green pages. Definitely Shrek the novel. They're still sleeping. Hunter is dying back there. The amount, the way his cheeks are absolutely just conked. He is definitely going through like late stage heartburn. He could die.
Also, why was everyone just staring forward like that and saying nothing? This
Because-
wasn't a class, this is homeroom.
Because Mr. Diaz was silently lecturing as always.
Silently lecturing, yeah.
Listen.
Okay,
that's-
everybody,
Listen,
I'm gonna now read the announcements for today. Announcement number 1.
listen, Mr. Diaz.
Announcement number 2.
Mr. Diaz's stare alone tells you the entire lecture.
Announcement number 3. There's an addendum to that last one, and it's the following. Okay, have a nice day.
Hey, you forgot 4.
Oh, yes, that's right. How could I forget? Yeah, 4. Okay, now you can go.
Silent lectures.
Hunter?
come on! I wanted to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Hey, and the blush is instantly gone.
Man, it's still got a little bit of it. Hasn't fully
Oh
calmed
yeah,
down
that's
yet.
fair. I do see the little bit, but he went from tomato to like medium rare steak.
Yeah. I do like the detail of the banner still being up, because they haven't taken them all down yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're late. This school seems to be lazy sometimes. Oh, he's still feeling that heartburn.
What is going on?
Yeah.
You have
Why
heartburn,
am I
dude.
getting nervous around Keori?
So here's the thing, he should be able to compare his things for Keori now to his things for Annabelle again like yesterday.
In one day, dude.
I
It
know
hasn't
the
been
guys can
that
fall quickly.
long. Oh
I know
wait,
guys can
high
fall
school.
quickly, and like trust me, like I've had some like close calls with this kind of thing, but yeah, never this close.
And it's high school. Sometimes your love changes almost instantly. And there's aphmau.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Just waiting to butterflies. I'll jump over the screen and come in there. Honestly, yep, do it. This plotline was ridiculous, and a horrible
He's
way to
not
end the
eating
show.
butterflies. He just straight up has heartburn.
I'm brain rot.
You.
Jeez, watch where you're.
See, there's a real version of like someone not knowing a person's name. The you in this situation was genuine.
Going much?
Sorry about that. Hey, I wanted to thank you for the other day.
Huh?
For your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, not for the werewolf like help at all. Okay, fine.
Wait.
Well, I
you
think
not
it's
remember me?
implied that the werewolf helped because of the phone.
I guess I didn't even get your name.
I mean,
Another
yes,
Keori.
true. Yes, true, but also that does say a lot about like aphmau's character at this point, that she like does like nice things to people, and all the time she doesn't remember like every single person.
Yeah.
Hey, Hunter.
Gah!
I got.
Oh no, he went medium rare steak again.
Yeah, well, I mean, this one was yeah.
Where is this? What is the storyline become? Why is Hunter falling for Keori now? Why?
Because I guess it was just too tempting to, you know, ruin my second major compliment of this series, which was the fact that we had a guy and a girl working together, you know, like striking a deal and not falling for each other. I guess it was too tempting to not do that.
And there was no signs, like anywhere beforehand, that this would happen. This is all just happening.
Yeah. My first major compliment, of course, was the fact that that Keori was such a different main character to aphmau, and now seeing the two of them side to side is great time to like bring this up again. And I do still stand by that. Nothing from Keori's perspective has changed whatsoever. Like she still feels like her progression has been natural. It's purely from Hunter's side of things, and I guess to some extent Annabelle's, where this is falling apart.
I mean, dude, you're falling in love with a different person. You've pretty much knowed out a good amount of this story. You've knowed out a large portion.
I mean, I guess
you can't go writing a love
hormones.
Yeah. Yeah, there's at least gonna be some build up, dog. Like there was no build up, no nothing. You just straight up went, oh, tomato.
There was a random glance in the last episode. He saw her in a dress and was down bad.
All it took was a singular dress.
Except even that doesn't make sense, because he complimented her casually at one point in the dress. It's like, oh, well, the dress looks good on you or whatever. And then afterwards, like, gushed over Annabelle in his own mind because, like, that was such a much bigger reaction for him.
Dude, Hunter, pick a lane. I know you also voiced that one other wolf guy who's absolutely not down bad for no one. Stop being down bad for everybody in the other character.
See, at least, my understanding, again, still have not watched Beastars. That's my bucket list.
But from what I've been told,
my understanding is that Legoshi is down bad, but only for one character, not several, or not one and then another one afterwards.
Hunter has hit all of the above, and is somehow gonna bypass all of the above. Because we got we got two females, maybe Ruby. We have no clue yet, but Ruby's trying to hit it off. And then Bree's just sort of standing by the side, knowing that Hunter ain't the right choice for her based on her statistics spreadsheet.
Yeah, I love how detailed aphmau's bow is in this. Makes me want to forget it used to be just a few pixels.
What?
Yeah, well, imagine, back in the day, Keori's Mifwa ears would be, like, flattened at the front of her like, Minecraft skin, and her tail would have been squashed to her back. So...
What?
And also probably would not be that visible on the uniform, now I think about that, actually. Oh well.
Then you gotta go and do one a day.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you'll see as we like go back to the earlier aphmau videos, there is like a decline in the like the production quality, because obviously that's when she was still well, not quite starting out, but it was before it became like super polished.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like MyStreet started with just aphmau and her husband working on the show, pretty much like exclusively just them, apart from the voice actors later on, and then obviously the team grew and they actually lots of things improved. Her husband Jason is really good at coding, so a lot of the mods they would use actually were custom ones. They never actually released to the public because competition, I suppose.
Yep.
Hey,
I respect a good coder. I'm an engineering person. I respect a good coder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am not an engineering person, but I also respect that because I've seen the end results. So yeah.
Well, I mean, as you already know, I am heavy science engineer. I do that stuff. I'm not into literature and this plot. I'm here to explain why this stuff physically would never be possible, and why the teenage hormones would not allow for this fast of a change in love interest unless there was something building up beforehand. But then again, this is MyStreet. I don't even know what to expect anymore. It's
Yeah, give it another like 10, 14 years, and you'll be the next host of one of the Theorist channels.
What? Listen.
Well, I mean, because they had one host for how many years was it? Yeah, 13 years. So maybe that will be the time to switch again for them. I have no idea.
What? Well, what do you think is gonna happen? I'm gonna just straight up take over this channel after you decide to retire. Is that what you think?
No, I'm talking about like the actual like Theorist channels.
Oh. Why did it take me that long to actually pick up on that?
No idea. Because I mean I do have some theories on this channel, but that's not like I say it's not what I'm most known for. Statistically speaking, my most popular video is a Theorist video, so I guess like back then that's what I was most known for, but not anymore. But yeah.
Been asking about. Hey, we'll talk later. Just wanted to.
I didn't realize that you had company. I'm suddenly very awkward.
Oh
make
no,
sure
there
you're gonna
was
be at the scrimmage
company.
after school.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Awesome. We'll see you then.
Awesome. We'll see you then.
You like her, don't you?
Yeah, it's your fault, creator of the video.
Yes, it is your fault.
Not
Not
smug
aphmau hitting the I know you, I know what you're thinking.
For some reason that just reminds me of Nikocado Avocado, but like the opposite. It's like my favorite Nikocado Avocado quote is where he just like goes, "Who are you? Who are you?"
You telling me your favorite Nikocado quote isn't "I was 2 steps ahead the entire time"?
Oh no, not even close.
See, that smug look specifically, my brain either goes to 2 places. One, the most southern voice you will ever hear, like a southern church like aunt who's right now telling the preacher about all the secrets that her family's been spilling for the past 20 years. Or B,
Madam, this confession booth is meant to be for yourself, not for your entire family. I can absorb your sins, not theirs.
Yeah, yes. Or second, what's that one episode from SpongeBob? You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
I think that might actually be the reference, because aphmau has referenced SpongeBob in a couple of situations in the past.
Hey, but it's actually, would that episode be? I think that episode would be out by now, by 2002.
Oh yeah, so you meant like in universe? Okay,
yes, I meant in universe.
Enough.
That episode I think would actually be out.
All the SpongeBob references, I mean, like they've been like out of universe stuff, like like this like the oh no he's hard. That was a reference, but that wasn't like they didn't mention SpongeBob there. It was just a thing that was that one of the characters did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but aphmau hitting the "You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?" I can't do a SpongeBob voice, but my voice is actively dying. But
yeah, okay, fair enough. But yeah, I do know what you mean. I do know the scene. Here's the thing. Like, I'm getting better at recognizing like English SpongeBob quotes and memes, because there was a time where like people would make references like, "Have you not seen this thing?" And they tell me what the episode like plot synopsis was. Like, "Oh yeah, no, I remember this one now." And then I would say the thing in Spanish. I was like, "Yeah, okay, that's why I didn't." Yeah, I get it now. It took forever to know where wee woo came from for me.
Wee woo. He's just
exactly.
Menacingly.
Yeah, like of course I'd seen the episode, but I hadn't heard him say wee woo.
Does he not
Yeah.
say wee woo in this? What did he say in the Spanish version? If he doesn't say wee woo, wee woo, wee woo.
Well, Nino, because that's like the onomatopoeia for an ambulance in Spain, so they had to change it. It's not as not quite as effective. Just didn't go through worse love troubles. Well, I mean, they haven't gone through them yet at this point in the story, but yeah,
this
that
is
is also true.
freshman, right?
Yeah, there you go. Look at yeah.
They'll hit
So it's
eventually.
Freshman aphmau with the smug grin of the creator, knowing what she's done to her series.
Yes.
It's kind of written all over your face.
No,
Yeah, I know, because you
it's
wrote
not.
it.
Imagine if the script was just like plastered onto his face.
No,
As a joke there.
no, the script just starts like rolling down from the top, and it just hits the.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah. As this finished up days. No, this is Jacob. Okay. Sure.
is this Mr. Diaz?
I mean,
No, this is not.
Hmm.
Just, he wouldn't even make up
Don't
something. He'd
you?
just say no.
I don't know.
it just looks like it's written on your face.
Because you wrote
I
it.
don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how I feel.
Don't sweat it. I mean, I think everyone
already
has a hard
sweating.
time
You can't stop
realizing
him
how
from
they
sweating
feel
it.
about someone when it comes to liking them.
You think?
Yeah, but they usually have a few hints before it happens.
Yeah.
So they
they're
can have something
usually-
to read into, aphmau.
Listen, we're Star Kids fans. We want to think about the implications.
We do, absolutely.
Think so?
Yep. Sometimes you don't even realize you like someone close to you.
Oh,
Watch where you're going.
Wow, rude much.
we love the.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that one I think you need the context for. That one you know from episode 9.
Yeah.
Wait. I still didn't get her name again. That doesn't matter. I think it.
By the way, a lot of his mini games aren't canon because I think he says her name in those.
I need to speak with Keori.
Hunter, are you
Hmm.
really?
Yeah.
No. Hunter.
Hey,
Hunter.
Keori! I need to speak with you! No time now!
Wait.
Like,
wait.
as
Hold
she's
up.
about to, like, start the race.
Think about it. Hunter doing that makes Keori want to run faster, not because she loves him back, but because she wants to make sure that Annabelle and Hunter's relationship stays going because she's actively invested.
That is true, yeah. Honestly, kind of like the revolvers with, like, herself and Annabelle in the sense that, in the sense that, now she's the one who's trying to, like, you know, set Hunter up with somebody who he's not interested in. Similar that Annabelle was doing the same because she assumed that Hunter and Keori were going to be together because, of course, everyone would assume that to begin with, but then
Maybe
go in that
that
direction.
maybe that was the implication. It always seemed like they were supposed to do it. Then they try to hit us with the psych, and then it turns out, oh, we were right the entire time.
I didn't want to be right the entire time.
Why did we have to be right? Why did the fans have to be right? We don't like. Sometimes it's not worth it when the fans are right. It's better for the fans to be wrong sometimes.
Trust me, don't I know it? There was a popular fan theory that about like the identity of like a certain character we haven't met yet, who was meant to be like a surprise connection to another show, and I denounced that theory because I didn't think there was enough basis for it. It turned out to be the correct answer. And that video is still like in my top 10 most popular videos of all time. So that's part of my legacy now. Fantastic.
Congratulations on your legacy.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't think you'd show up.
I'm here and ready more than ever now.
Well,
Are you
truth be
sure?
told,
Oh, I just realized there's actually more people than I thought, but that's only okay. All right. This is interesting actually. There's some people in the track team back there that seem like in track uniforms. Maybe they're ones who've already made it, or I guess like they're not, or they're not competing like right now. They're waiting for their turn, I guess, because they're like a certain amount of lanes. Okay, fair enough. Because like two of them have like green shirts, so I guess the Nahakura theme, Nahakura uniform.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm comparing this to running with you because in running with you,
I'm just saying,
the number of like track applicants is something that that I personally take issue with in that series. So, but you'll see that soon.
We'll see that when Vin Views actually decides to get into I'm gonna say the word production, but it's not even really production. It's just whenever Jacob feels like getting me on Streamlab and we go and watch whatever.
Yeah, yeah. That's definitely like a next year thing for sure.
Well, I mean, next year is almost here.
I know.
A lot of kids tend to drop out of training, and you're lucky someone actually did. Or else I'd have to send you home.
I mean,
Ugh.
you promised that she would be part of this, so that's
It's a
on you,
coach.
Coach Roy.
It's a coach. They love lying about stuff just to make people feel good, and then hit them with the, "Oops, I'm sorry. I can't keep that promise anymore." Right on the day when it's supposed to be fulfilled, you have to leave now. Bye bye.
No wonder Annabelle doesn't like this guy. Well, actually, it was the other coach, the one that was in charge of, like, who said that cheerleaders weren't like a varsity
It's the
sport.
off-screen coaches that are the worst. Let me just say that it's the off-screen coaches.
Which incidentally, yeah, off-screen coach has not been like addressed since like episode 2. So Annabelle's whole quest there seemed to have been like dropped.
No, it was addressed in episode, I think 6.
Oh right, yeah, with the whole jacket. Okay, fine.
Yeah, with the jacket inside episode 6 when they were in the diner. Annabelle learned that Hunter was a varsity, and then complained about how Cheer never got varsity.
Mini theory here: if this series had actually continued and hadn't been cut short, at some point, Keori would have schemed to have like Hunter help Annabelle convince the off-screen coach we would meet for the first time in that episode to make cheerleading a varsity sport.
Why to get sent backstage?
I have no idea. Oh wait, I think the internet here sometimes like glitches out around like this time specifically, so there might be like a couple of like weird errors that go on.
Specifically 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Wait,
so, yeah, but also
because that's midnight here, so that's probably why it's like reset for the next day.
If the series continued, this episode would not exist.
Well, yeah, of course not. I mean, or the very least, we would have had like a bit more build up to it. It wouldn't be such like a heavy blow. It still would be. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, at least would have been more, prepared for it.
You're banking on that happening?
Well, of course. I mean, this is my first time teaching, so I mean, again, I didn't think you'd actually show up.
Really, didn't think she would show up after how excited she was and how determined she was. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe she thought. Well, I mean, who knows? Some kids, they change their thoughts very quickly. Like Hunter.
They've got like 2 layers. It's like the person like resolves to like go to the gym. They goes to the gym on January 1st. The January 2nd, they decide like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this.
Well, let's get to it. If you can help carry this team in the scrimmage, then the position is all yours.
Yeah.
I could just help carry. You're not gonna tell us like you gotta like turn the tides. No, just like help out. You do what you can. That's what you could ask for. Yeah.
I nice. That. Yeah, but also back to the New Year's thing. Yeah, most kids most kids fall up with the I'll go to the gym January 1st. I went to the gym January 2nd. I went to my friend's gym.
Oh, the coach has really pretty eyes. That's the worst cough than any of the ones that I've done before.
Well, because what happened was I was laying down, so the cough happened mid while I was sitting back up.
Oh,
so my airways were changing while I was coughing.
Okay. Also,
if you wanted to hear bad, that one Thursday where I missed episode 8, that was bad.
I see. Okay. Have you watched episode 8, by the way?
What?
Have you watched episode 8, by the way?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh, wait, yeah, you mentioned you watched the review of it instead of, like, just the actual episode.
Yeah, I watched the review because it feels weird to watch it without a Jacob and or a Aiden.
See, this is the thing. Some people say that to me with, like, because, I mean, obviously...
Well, I haven't watched any of this without you guys, so it feels weird.
No, I'm not talking about you specifically. I'm talking about, like, other people have mentioned this to me that actually, because... Some people who watch these videos, obviously, like, they're aphmau fans. That was the whole point, right? To, like, bring aphmau fans, together to remember the good times of MyStreet when the future of it was entirely uncertain. That was the point of 5 years later. But obviously because, like, how YouTube works and how depending on, like, the existing people that came from like the gacha content I was doing at the time. Yeah, the mix together created a case where some people like were watching MyStreet for the first time through my reactions, and then when they tried to watch the show on their own, they actually did find that it was weird watching it without me commenting over the top of it.
Well, I'm not watching it through your reactions. I'm watching it in your reactions.
Well, that's what I mean. Oh, sorry, no. So you mean like as a guest? Okay, fine. Yeah, but in the episode 8 situation, you watch it through the reaction.
Yeah, but like here, it feels so much different because I can actively interact with you.
Yeah.
I get the special privilege of interacting with Jacob. Yo. I feel so privileged.
Yeah, honestly, I have had people, that I've had people like genuinely like not even as like as a joke of the situation. Like I've had people who start like by watching some videos and then like join in some videos and they were actually kind of in awe in some ways of the fact that they were there in the first place. And it's like, wow, okay, this is an interesting feeling right now.
And now I've just always been here, like. I have not missed many of these streams, and it feels weird, but at the same time,
Wait, I meant to be writing. Curse you found it being so distracting. I get that also.
Hey, we do this all the time.
This is why you need like a browser that can like make you shrink the footage down. If you're on Google Chrome, if you press Alt P, press Alt then plus then P, well, hold down Alt then press P is what I mean to say at the same time, and that will shrink down the video if it's done correctly. You'll like try a couple times, then you can shrink it down. You can like press play and pause in that one, and then you can have it like in the corner somewhere. If you're on Microsoft Edge or Opera GX, there's actually like an icon button there, and if you're on any other browser, I don't know because I haven't tried them.
Let's do it.
Alright, Keori, it's time.
Ah, there we go. Nahakura High School. What a boring logo by comparison to Phoenix Drop.
Well, also some high schools just have boring logos.
True, but like the contrast, especially because like Phoenix Drop High has been updated over the years, as designs get less Minecrafty by nature. So that's why it stands out here.
Yeah.
And again, inaccurate because that was obviously a retcon of the like everything always looking this way, which I guess means that I get to do one of the final bits that is actually started off in 5 years later and never made it to a jingle in the end. Retcons, they're bad for me and you. Retcons, next time think your story through. There you go.
Bam.
I did that with William. That's why he likes that so much whenever I do it.
You check your DM
looks...
to see if your DM to see if Aiden and or William responded. By the way.
Well, I sent them the link, so they should be just able to click on it and go into the back rooms directly.
Yep.
Yeah. Nope. Never mind.
Your newest guest was your last.
Yeah.
Feels ironic, but at the same time. Oh no, the sun!
The excuse the sun being in her eyes. She speeds off immediately. It's like, oh yeah, help carry the team. No, just zoom away because like your train was that good. This is Dragon Ball now.
No, she's a cat. She just has the zoomies.
The zoomies?
Have you never heard of the zoomies?
No.
It's when cats get extremely playful and start moving very, very fast.
Okay, I definitely want to incorporate that into the cat girls now.
I'm surprised you've never heard of the zoomies.
Guys, I feel it overpowering me. It's happening. Zoomies, begin!
Yeah, zoomies is a term used for a cat's sudden burst of energy, which can include running, jumping, or pouncing. The clinical term for zoomies is frenetic random activity period, also known as FRAP.
Okay, no, can we like that actually has to be like a statistic in D&D now for the cat girls. Like similarly to how like rage works essentially for barbarians.
The zoomies. Here's the and I could very easily write up a Zoomies version of Rage. I write up many different versions of Rage. I would show you at the same time we're on stream, but if you want me to, I will write Zoomies Rage.
Fair enough. Zoomies Rage. Well, it wouldn't be like Rage necessarily, but
No, I say Rage as in because it's going to be based off actual Rage. It's probably
Yeah,
going to be called
okay.
something like. It's probably going to be called something like Zoomies Overload.
why not just call it Zoomies?
That's a good point.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you always got the Zoomies. See. What
Oh,
the?
speaking of Zoomies, someone's nanny mowing. Let's say.
Giving. Oh, come on, you're in the back. Stop being the anchor. You're only two of you. You don't need an anchor. I think she did well. We don't know. They never crossed the finish line.
Yeah. That reminds me of when I did like this is like a spoiler for Musical Season 3, but it's like a minor spoiler.
Oh, okay, I was just making sure. I was going
Yeah.
to fully stop you.
Yeah. So this is just like a thing where Morwenna is facing off against against Bianca. I think this is actually in the next episode, so it's a spoiler for everyone, I guess. But there's
Everybody
there's
gets spoiled.
yeah. Like that, like there's a point where like it gets like really intense, like competition between them. It's an inter-school thing. So there are another two like competing games, but they lag behind because the point is that the focus is going to be on Morwenna and her rival Bianca in that case. And eventually it was like, ah yes, you may have beaten me, but you forgot one thing. What's that? We're on the same team.
See, here's the thing. That sounds good. But then again, specifically the name Bianca has sort of been ruined for me because I am a big Drag Race fan, as in RuPaul's Drag Race.
Okay.
And I can no longer hear the name Bianca without thinking of Bianca Del Rio, winner of Season 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race and the funniest drag queen out of all of them. And like 20 different jokes play out in my head, and my brain just goes off for a good 30 seconds.
Ah, well, in that case, let's refocus you.
Did I do good, Coach?
Well,
I have no idea how you managed to improve in just 2 months.
I had Master
Steroids.
Roshi's training from Dragon Ball.
Steroids.
Welcome to the team.
You did it!
Practice is after school every day. Be there on
Every
Monday.
day.
I was making that thing having Tip Freak Show the still make grown up life as a raccoon. You know the power to actually turn into a raccoon when she gets too anxious. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, fair enough.
Turns into a rat. When they become too anxious, turns into a raccoon, and it immediately scurries off to who knows where. It's never explained in the show where they scurry off to. They just do.
Yeah, the issue with Seneca University actually is that you know the not to say that discrimination doesn't happen at universities, but the thing is it's handled much more so that, and it also is actively denounced by most of the student body, and people have like matured more so that it's like basic, like all the time judging people just based on like appearance stuff and you know calling them names. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it's much less frequent, so it will feel a bit more unrealistic if you keep that aspect of the show, and that's being the reason that she's called Freak Show in the first place. If you change that, then so be it. It could be like a distant memory of like a thing she got called when she was younger, and that's stuck with her all these years or something. Like, but just to be aware that might be like a pitfall you might fall under if you do that.
yes, sir.
And the light shines on her.
Yep.
Do you see the light?
Can you feel the light inside?
I'm super happy for you, Keori.
I can't believe it actually
You can hear
worked.
the vocal
I'm so-
tone change.
Yeah.
I feel so happy for you, Keori.
I feel so happy for you. You got everything you wanted. And so did I, but I no longer want it, so it's not satisfying anymore.
So excited.
Yeah.
I actually did it.
If only the plot actually showed the development of your speed and, in general, track tactics.
Yeah,
Too bad
it pays off the thing that wasn't as built up and destroys the thing that was.
Yeah. You should've- See, why focus on running when you could focus on relationship that you ruined in the last episode without any implication that that's gonna happen?
This is why Phoenix Drop Days has left a sour taste in people's mouths. Not because the show itself was bad. It wasn't.
Purely because of this last episode.
Yes, exactly. It's the reverse of Emerald's Secret, where you know,
Hey,
which
no
is season
spoilers.
4 of MyStreet.
Hey, no
Well,
spoilers.
not spoiling the case. Like the first 12 episodes drag on immensely, at least for me. But the last 5 episodes are considered, rightfully so, some of the best material to come out of the MyStreet series. That's all I was gonna say. Yeah, I don't have to tell you why. Just you'll find it eventually. But yeah,
Eventually.
Same.
that's why people remember it so fondly. I think.
They're hugging! Oh no!
This without
She's hugging me. You know.
you.
Physical
Thanks, Hunter.
touch!
Hmm.
Did he not blush? He
You
didn't blush.
really did all the hard work.
It was just
Like I
heartburn,
said before.
guys.
I'm still with you. We'll figure out a plan later to get Annabelle with you.
About
Maybe
that.
Ian and I can take you guys out.
Yeah, I think the way the Keori VA also says yeah doesn't sound convincing. Which I've run this issue before with trying to add specific dialect stuff for certain characters, and the VA's not
Understanding.
not natural for them.
Yeah.
Well, they understand, but they just don't sound natural for doing them. So I stopped that. I stopped that practice.
See, I mean, as I've been told by very specific people, personality-wise, I come off amazing as main characters. Voice-wise, I'm dying inside. And by people, I mean specifically Ghosty has told me this.
With the exception of Catgirl Island, I assume. But
Well,
unfortunately,
Catgirl
there was a
Island
main
doesn't
character there.
count.
But you were the overpowered isekai protagonist compared to the rest of the Catgirls that were there.
And then end of the episode, boom. Congratulations, my character just fully became a clingy, affectionate mess through the power of a good persuasion roll. And I'm full well knowing that if that comes back, I am having to play a clingy, affectionate character, and it's gonna be a mess.
Which is interesting because Fred was supposed to be the clingy, affectionate character to yours.
Yeah. And then I tried to kill everyone. And then I got persuasion check to survival. If only Aiden didn't initiate a encounter, which I specifically told him not to do.
I mean, I did also point this out that you could have just done a normal attack.
But that's boring. It's D&D. And again, I played one of my, and I've told this to go to weaker characters.
That's not really saying much.
Well, it sort of is if you remember the amount of damage, and that thing is very strong. It gets stronger.
I mean, I will also say that the Ghosty sent us the character sheet with all the rolled stats. So if that was one of your weakest characters, you've got some interesting dice there.
Well, I mean, I've spoken to Ghosty about it. I consider my characters weak to strong, not including stats, because stat roll is really lucky. I go based on character attack style, how it's built, the way it plays around with other characters, compatible, everything other than stats.
The way that plays around with the characters, oh boy.
Oh, that character was purely meant to be a solo character, and that's why they're weaker, because it has no team compatibility.
You chose a character meant to be a solo character for a collab adventure.
Fighting wise.
That things fell apart.
Fighting wise.
You also did establish that you weren't much of a role player at the time, and therefore, what else would there be? I guess.
And I'm still not.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Back to another thing that fell apart. When it wasn't supposed to.
Why Aiden?
Everything is
He's a
falling
pretty
apart.
nice guy.
And
Plus, I don't want to be a third wheel, you know. Anyway,
Well, you're about to
I'll
no
see-
longer be a third wheel, my friend.
That is a fair point. I mean, obviously, Annabelle invited Bree last time, so we can just hang out with her
Yeah.
instead. But yeah, fair
I
enough.
later,
love
Hunter.
being a third wheel.
Fair enough.
I love being the harem king and not wanting to be the harem king.
Okay.
Yeah?
Look, I'm really happy you made it on the varsity track team. The letters will look fantastic on you.
Thanks.
And Annabelle is gonna be jealous. She's not
I
getting her.
couldn't say anything
Yeah.
to her that night.
Yes, voiceover, the best way to.
Did we just get
end this.
voiceover?
Yeah, yeah, okay. This series started out with Keori doing voiceover, so it doesn't come out completely out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But for Hunter specifically, it does kind of feel like, and that's it. This is where everyone is now because we
Well, I mean,
couldn't
also
write an ending.
we got hit with a extremely abrupt ending, which is sad. This should have just ended with episode 10.
I hate to say it. This reminds me of Taming the Bad Boy, in the sense of the ending being just like, oh, this is how the characters end up. Like it wasn't even narration because Taming the Bad Boy season 1 wasn't voice acted, so it was just Shorty making verbal confirmations where everyone was for the final episode of like her most popular series. Oh, and fantastic! Thank you, Bond. But this is Bond's account.
I know.
The series.
I know.
Yeah. All right.
I can't wait. I'm dying. It feels weird.
How's the flight? Slept through most of it. The landing had the worst turbulence I have ever experienced in a plane ever.
Jacob, you were supposed to be recording a video mid-flight. What happened?
What happened was it got so bad that they actually turned on a sign was like no devices whatsoever. We just gotta get like power through this. we were rocking. We were like not just like going up and down like regular plane turbulence, but we've got like side to side as well at the same time.
See, the plane was fighting. Jacob was fighting back.
The plane was fighting the elements and losing.
See. We very normal humans. We always fight the elements. Me personally, I love fighting the cold.
I mean, okay, I guess that's something. I don't know where to go with that.
Or any other time we walked that trail.
Or ran the
Keori
trail.
and I continued to be good friends. I couldn't bring myself to admit how I felt about her. I honestly enjoyed our friendship, but
yeah. Another issue. This is like Kiori's biggest moment. Like she achieved like her objective. In
And we
standing
got
out,
this.
finally. Yeah. And we're focusing on Hunter now and his feelings for her, as if he was the main character the whole time. When it was really this moment should be about Keori, and it really isn't anymore.
Yeah.
a part of me really wanted to tell her.
Why didn't you?
Maybe someday I will.
I guess it depends like how far in the future this is really.
It feels so weird to
What
see
do
her
you
in the
think?
leather.
Did you eat breakfast?
Really? That's the first thing you say to me? I can't believe you.
He knows you too well.
Come on, let's go eat. I'll tell you all about how pretty you look during.
Fine. But I swear, if this gets dirty, I'll
See, that's
flip all
casual.
heck loose on you.
If you can
Is that why you didn't change your uniform before that you would get this episode, so that you would not dirty your uniform with burger
With board gear.
liquids?
We dirty it with the board gear.
Mm-hmm.
catch me, that is.
I
If you
bet
can
you I
catch
can.
me.
I got the jacket to prove it.
Well, off you go. No running in the halls,
Let-
but
Hey,
still.
that's a head
No running in the halls. Detention for you.
Yeah. Also, again, hey, that's a head start. Oh wow, did I just pick Mr. Diaz's line?
No running in the halls.
Boom! There we go.
Let the chase begin. Is that really our final scene? It was.
Yeah. Now I just have the end credits sequence.
Ah, yes.
The old shack of the Infinity Club. Mr. Diaz is Quinn O'Quinn. That's a nice name.
Yeah. Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese, please. YouTuber name.
We got normal names, and then we pulled up with mac and cheese and Shadow Temple.
Yeah, which incidentally, Mac and cheese 1 point, like, she still cards with her nowadays anyway in the modern stuff, but she also at one point like one of the Uno videos said she didn't have a character in MyStreet. I guess she technically finally got her wish in the form of Werewolf Girl #2. Congrats, Mac and cheese.
I think that the real question is, was that the werewolf girl that was flirting with the hunter? Who knows?
I actually forgot. I could go back and identify that voice for you, but yeah, we don't have time right now.
Not now, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Let the credits roll.
Last names for my characters. You could take like Keori's last name, Rivera. Maybe like Nelly Rivera. That has a nice ring to it.
I definitely heard Nelly and thought of the singer-songwriter Nelly.
Please don't tell me her last name's Rivera. That would ruin everything.
What? Westbury. Sickle Nulf. I love Sickle Nulfy. That goes crazy.
Yeah. No. Wait. Hold on. Just kidding. That's what you gotta do. Look at the last names that you have like in the credits here, and take your favorite ones.
Yeah, Sickle Nulfy, and we pull.
Yeah. Bear Sikonolfi. There we go. That's a name.
Hey, we got David Chang.
Yeah.
Hey, look at David Chang again.
Yes, it is correct. Yeah. What was the main character's name again in for Freak Show?
Oh
no! Nelly was the main character. Okay, it was Evelyn or Evelyn that was the mom-like friend. Okay.
Guys, Nelly's a wreck.
Potentially, or Nelly Chang. If she's based on Mowena's actually half Asian. So,
yeah. Just Wesley.
Yeah.
No last name, just Wesley. TC Salmon. Alright.
Wait. Bear Salmon, just named after two animals.
Salmon. We love Bear Salmon.
Also, yes, Ghost Kitty, the multiplayer probably was censored by Twitch because I can see everything here. So, yeah, you can go ahead and like look at that message if you would want to see what it was about. Which, by the way, out of context, speaking of messages, this message right here, out of context, sounds like a threat. It's not. It's relating back to what I was talking about, like, with the plane and whatever. But yeah.
But also, it's Bond. It could have been a threat. You never know.
Me like that.
What is Uwu Spider?
About that. Remember I said before you would meet the character Lucinda later on?
Yeah.
At some point in the series, she gets a pet spider that she names Uwu, and the model for that spider is a very specifically like cutesy like head blob type of thing. And that's basically what that looks like. You're unmuted for some reason. Okay, that is weird.
Interesting. The Grand Mod. Hold up, the Grand Mod.
Okay.
That's a good one right there. The Grand Mod. You should take that one.
Honestly, take all of these for like the other characters.
Yeah. Some of these are amazing last names.
Yeah.
We should specifically start hiring people with funny last names.
Or time to put money using it, if that will also work.
Epidemic sound. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's like a whole like label, essentially.
Yeah. Well, we're here now.
Right. I need to bring up something. I forgot to put some images in here.
Ah, there's images. Ah.
Yep. Oh wait, this is for video clips. That's why it wasn't showing up. Images.
No, yep. Yeah, you spelled Chang correct. Yep, Nelly Chang. You're telling me, Ghosty? I don't know what to call you. Ghost Kitty, whatever. You should take the Grandmont though. The Grandmont goes crazy.
Mm-hmm. Evelyn de Grandmont.
Evelyn de Grandmont.
There we go.
That sounds so slightly English.
And also slightly French.
Yes. We're hitting half a good amount of European bases, obviously.
Well, I mean, yeah, it sounds like a potentially like one of those like the earliest last names that were like passed down by the Normans when they invaded.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Image
obviously
number one.
when this video aired, it was very obvious what had happened. That you know, the aphmau had at times before ended shows on cliffhangers and then not renewed them for a second season based on ratings, similar to how a TV network would operate.
This was worse.
Never before and never since, thankfully, has she ever abruptly concluded something like this. Just for like one final wrap-up episode. I guess trying to get to the original ending, but not having any of the like the setup and justification for it that it would probably have needed. Because the way that things stand right now, one out of the two main characters both main characters got everything they wanted, but one of them didn't want the thing anymore. And then once that was pivoted, it was left as a case that he doesn't get the thing that he wants at that point afterwards, and that's the ending. So we changed a character's motivation when the ending was almost satisfying, like entirely. Again, for episode 10, it wasn't a perfect ending, but it would have been better than this. That's why it feels like so bad for this. That's why it feels, so almost insulting the way that it ended. Because yeah, like Keori said, we were invested in this. And for good reason, because now, of having gone to like the extra layer on top of that being the imbalance that Aiden pointed out, and that's I 100% agree with, that only fuels that further in that sense. Like it was, yeah. And then of course, the moments that for Keori was kind of ruined as well. The thing is, if because aphmau probably wanted to explore the idea of like sometimes you don't end up getting what you want. That's something that people thought was going to happen for season 6. Back when people thought season 6 was going to be the end point, even though it was very clearly setting up a 7th season.
I've returned.
Yeah, great. Setting up 7th season, people thought that like there's here. It proves that the sometimes like endings that endings aren't going to be entirely happy, and that would have been fine if that was the intention going into it. But here I think it maybe was the intention, but because of the way it was handled, like season 6 piled on the drama significantly in order to have that supposition make sense in some ways. But this one, where it's like, okay, sometimes sometimes people don't get what they want. That's a fine message. It's a risky one, given the fact that 99% of all stories about like
always get
characters
what you
working to try and achieve what they want, even if it's not what they think they wanted at the start of their journey, they still get something at the end. So it's a risky move, but not an impossible one.
Yeah.
The way that I would have done it for the thing is, you could have done it in the sense of Keori gets the jacket, but realizes that really much nothing much has changed, because she wanted the jacket not because of like how it would look on her or none of that stuff. She wanted to stand out. And we never get to see her like really stand out in any sort of way after that point, because of how again, it just like has like her and Hunter already knows her and knows like the effort. The thing is, if she realized that she like went into this and entered this team for the wrong reasons, it's obviously that's not what she wants in the end, then it's going to like send her back to the beginning. It's like, well, what was this all for? Keori was the one who had the doubts at that point, not Hunter. So that's another thing that I don't think I mentioned, back in the day. But Vin, now that you're back here, I can reveal the title of the episoding of the review from 5 years ago. I called it the worst finale ever, and the thumbnail was was me like pointing to the video, going awful, awful, awful.
Hey, by the way, I still don't know their name. Ghost something.
Ghost Kitty.
Ghost Kitty. They don't know how to spell the Grandmont.
Yeah. All right.
Jacob's working on it. Jacob's locating the Grandmont.
Well, I was just typing it out. It was much easier.
Yeah. The Grandmont.
And it ruins the flow of the ending significantly less. Because obviously now it's time to wrap up not only this, but also 5 years later in general.
It's time to drop our final thoughts.
When this came out, it seemed like because of potentially copper issues at the time that this was made, but also going into COVID right afterwards. Those were two reasons why like aphmau set up at the time was not being facilitated. The change made a lot of sense, but obviously, given how like exponentially more successful that change was at the time, it's kind of like trickling back now. But at the time it was like night and day comparison. Again, another reason why I started 5 years later, because I want people to remember that origin and how much how much better that Phobos content was. Like, of course, target audiences are a thing, but I was never target audience for this stuff anyway. So I couldn't pinpoint at the time why the newer content wasn't working for me, apart from obviously the different age demographic, which is not usually a problem. I've since learned from that, but again, it was something I couldn't like pinpoint. It's like, okay, what is this about? Maybe I can find out why. But yeah, like unfortunately, because like that stuff got buried because of the new audience. It's kind of similar to how aphmau got into roleplays in the first place. I remember some people, like Shiny, for example, you haven't met Shiny yet. He mentioned that he actually watched aphmau back in the days when she was playing things like Pixelmon and Crazycraft, back when the channel was called Translated Inc., and it was a community channel with her and, Castor and Sachel and Jason as well, to a lesser degree because he wasn't on camera as much. Back when it was like the 4 of them running it, and that was like the original thing. Back when aphmau was known as the Mod Queen, particularly because of, and that video of how to be like aphmau was made back in the day, which is entirely different nowadays. So, yeah, like aphmau kind of stumbled into this kind of thing, and yeah, to some extent, like YouTubers do that. I've been making content for 11 years. I've done that multiple times, where I start off by doing like one type of thing, and then eventually I pivot towards, I guess, like making aphmau content, like the theories, when that like became like a major thing. And
it's all about finding your niche.
Well, yes, but I mean also like your niches can change, or your interests can change, or like your content itself, you can realize like, oh, this works better. So part of like experimenting. So but yeah, like I was saying, Beanie Boy actually like pointed this out to me. Like he even though he didn't watch my channel back in the day, he like looked back at some of my older stuff and much preferred like the regular like Minecraft gameplays that were happening beforehand, before I like hyper focused on a franchise and a creator that that he was unfamiliar with and didn't want to engage in. And then, of course, along came Gacha, like, you know, the year after that, actually. And the two things mixed together, and then 2 years after that, 5 years later, started itself, which meant that I was moving the shift to live content at all, quite frankly. Because beforehand, I had done a couple of streams, but I was terrible at them.
And now
So,
look at where we are.
Exactly. So these things do happen, and creators do evolve. And we'll keep evolving. But then that means that the older fans who like the older stuff, they kind of like feel buried. They feel that they feel like, you know, their time is up. Yeah. So naturally, when this stuff you know came to light, well, about a year after it, really, after a year of like solid you know, purely modern aphmau content, there was finally a community post that addressed it, and this is said post. So, Happy New Year, everyone. 2020 was absolutely crazy for everyone. I hope you're all good and staying as healthy as possible. I just want to say you guys made our 2020 absolutely wonderful. I'm super happy you guys are absolutely loving this new style of concept after in 2020. To be honest, it's super fun to make, as like get crazy I want doing with it. Which is so mentally relaxing as a creator to make something you're happy and proud while making something fun with everyone enjoying it. Well, 2020 that was super needed. We've gained 2.8 million subscribers in 2020 alone, which is our highest year yet for subs. It would not become that, but it was at the time. So welcome all you new lovelies. I hope you'll grow with me as much as you enjoy. I want to give an update on my prior RP content. Lots of text. Back in 2019, I was nearing the end of my weekly roleplay era. Before 2020, my channel was heavily dependent on roleplays or story-type content. While Jason and I enjoyed making RPs, and we loved it just as well, it was impossibly difficult to keep up at the rate we have been posting for years. The production of weekly RPs at the quality we aimed for was incredibly stressful. Once COVID hit, we couldn't have our workplace anymore and had to send everyone home. Making an RP remotely and expecting it to be posted every week without error and great amounts of stress is impossible without quality. On top of that, RPs not making as many views as they needed to fund them. So after 4 years of making that content, we decided it was our best interest for our mental health and family that we not rely on RPs as much as our main content. YouTube is our job, is what we do to make a living and pay for everyone who works for us. It's a fun job, but at the end of the day, we have to make decisions that are in our best interest. To be honest, I was really getting upset with how often demands had come in for me to post faster. It caused me to rush stories I did not want to rush, but had to. It also caused me to set dates for releases I didn't know if we could make. Diary's rebirth was my chance to not rush, and when I felt like I was rushed, I stopped it because I no longer wanted to feel rushed on a story. I hope you guys can understand that. There's more to this, by the way, but I'll just address the stuff that's in here first, and then we'll like get back to like the rest of the second half. So, firstly, the quality, like, you know, being increased, that had already become an issue. Season 6 had a year-long stretch for 15 numbered episodes, but there was like, you know, 2-parters and 3-parters in there, so I think it was actually like 18 episodes for 12 months, basically. And that was unheard of, because that was where they were trying to do, like, they had like animations, they only had one animator at the time, because a lot of them else had left. There was also the exodus happened in like the Cafe Studios at the time, and that was the whole, let's deal with that at the same time. They had a new baby on the way. And at the time, everyone seemed to be saying, like, you know, just take your time, we can wait, don't worry about it. But I guess maybe I just didn't see the same demands that obviously Ava did. And as a creator, it's obviously much more likely you're going to see the negative stuff, remember that, than to focus on the positives. As unfortunate as that is. Hold on a second. So maybe I misjudged that. But that being said, I also kind of felt like, you know, when I started, you know, making Mutant Girl, and when that became a thing with Buttercorp and whatnot, it felt like on a microscopic level, kind of like, you know, walking in the footsteps of my greatest hero. But you know, and seeing like how as in like how that was what they were kind of like. And yeah, Mutant Girl as well kind of suffered with this. Season 1 was rushed in a lot of aspects, just production really, actually, but because you can tell from how those were put together that they were not exceptionally well put together. That's why there's so many gaps in between episodes now, because we're not doing that anymore. Like we have the people here, and they are willing to wait, and I've got content that will like facilitate that moving forward. Kind of like DBZA almost, where TFS started like their gaming channel as well in order to like help fund them. They said that season 3 would not have existed without the gaming chat, so the gaming channel. So it does make sense, even though it does mean that it's to push back things even further, because obviously you're focusing on other stuff instead. And yeah, making live content is much easier than edited, but it still incurs time and management and whatnot. Not to mention there's limited scope of evolution, at least on my end personally, that I can think of. But anyway, in terms of the evolution here, aphmau's one of the main people propelling Minecraft roleplays forward as far as evolution goes, and I've said this before, but regressing from that is very difficult and is near impossible for people to do. Like if I tried to make a video the same way that I used to, as far as Mutant Girl, for example, with the knowledge I have now, it would feel alien to me. Like that's one thing that I half admire Aiden for, half resent, in the sense of he's able to get very minimalistic, but to the major detriment of the videos themselves. And when that's deliberate, that's also another thing where people people address. So doing something like season 1 or season 2 even of MyStreet would have felt weird from this channel, and I can somewhat see why that came about. And I can also see why getting used to the weekly releases, because back in the day, diaries used to come out I think every 2 or 3 days, and then MyStreet stayed the same way, even though that was increased quality, and then that was what spiraled and snowballed forward. So what was originally designed for a survival roleplay, with first-person perspective, with custom NPCs, with saying some lines in the programming, that stuff, which is relatively easier to do, became the same time demand for exponentially more complicated stuff. So yeah, there was going to be a point, I guess, where that kind of came to the forefront, and eventually was unsustainable. And I guess global events of the time also cemented that decision, let's say. But that being said, still not a fan of the way that aphmau goes full TV network. All these went full TV network as ended a bunch of different role plays. Not MyStreet, that's the exception. But a bunch of her other role plays with season 1, this is it. If you want more of this stuff, give likes and more engagements so we can actually justify making more of this. But of course, the problem with that is that if you're saying that to the existing fan base for a thing, they've already seen the thing. They can only refresh it so many times, or they're only going to be willing to try it to try that as many times, and then obviously we don't know the metric you're trying to aim for or anything. So that's another thing. So yeah, sort of fond of that. So I understand the reasons, but the end result is something that I actually also really not a fan of. And okay, yeah, Dreams of Astoria, a lot of stuff in it. Yeah, okay. That's also true. But Dreams of Astoria, yeah, I forget how that actually wrapped up. That's one thing I don't think I actually ever finished it. Once it moved to aphmau Stories, it kind of fizzled out there, which at the time I also thought was a very strange choice. If things aren't getting enough viewership on the channel that's getting you the views, why would you move it on to a separate one where less people are likely to see it and therefore engage with it? But then actually, years later, Aiden introduced me to Glitch, the channel Glitch, which is run by the same people. Yes, it's run by them, but it's where all of their more complex stuff goes. Like I've watched one episode of SMG4, the one that was like right after Sunset Paradise wrapped up and Meggy came back, because that's when Aiden showed me like, oh, this is what this looks like now, and it's like, oh, good lord, what am I exposed to? What abomination is in front of me right now?
Well, SMG4, the whole thing is pretty much you expect everything, and you get somehow even more than everything.
And that's great if you're prepared for that.
You're not supposed to be.
But Aiden asked the same question when we reviewed Metarun on his channel. Where he asked like why are they putting us on a separate channel? Why not like stick it on the one that gets them however many millions of views the other one did and whatever. And I've since realized that general advice is that certain types of content will flourish by themselves or in comparison to other stuff of the same nature. Like the more crafted shows will fly better in that setting versus being paired up with SMG4. That's why my biggest regret in my 11 years of doing YouTube is not giving the Mutant God its own channel when I started it off. And I would have done that many years ago if it weren't for the fact that the upload date of the original episode is so important because of saying the record for the longest running gacha series, and I don't want to go through the whole re-upload process and whatnot. That's the only reason. And moving it over would just cause another story situation. So I get the mentality of that, but every series that moved on to the aphmau Stories channel at the time fizzled out and died far too quickly. And look, there we go. See that the perfect example right there. Same thing with Dari season 3, fizzled out. Yeah. So actually, I guess I haven't got I haven't got to this point, but we have got some reference to that in this second part.
There's a lot.
Oh no, yeah, I said before it was the second half. Yeah, a full second half. Okay, so with that being said, Jason and I are not stopping our storytelling. We still have stories to tell, but we're not about posting them on a tight schedule as we did for many years anymore. That's incredibly draining and not good for anyone's well-being. So instead, we're going to take our time making RPs. There will no longer be a set date on when anything is airing. Instead, we want to post the whole RP at our own pace before we begin to announce anything. Again, this is a decision that helps me feel better as a person, as creator, and puts me at less stress to make something not rushed. So I hope you guys can understand that can understand this stand I am taking. I also want to find ways to make my RPs more entertaining, so it gives me more time to take that time. And obviously since then, we've had the announcement in last year's VidCon, this year's VidCon, my bad, of MyStreet One Last Time, Season 7, of course, which means that, and people thought, okay, how much of this is already made or something, not to mention as well that says that the release date is going to be mid-2025, at least that's the announcement for it. I'm hoping that this is not a return to aphmau making a promise a set date and then not being able to keep to it, as you implied in the first half of this. Hoping that's able to work through that specifically. But yeah, if that means the whole RP was posted, that makes me wonder why we're waiting that long for it to come out. If it was indeed all finished. If it's not, which is more likely the case, then why announce it now if you want to have it all posted and then not, and then make the marketing and whatnot. I'm not sure. So that could go either way. Anyway. Oh, if you're concerned about me right now, don't worry, I'm perfectly fine. I'm still able to post daily. My current day content is very fun, less stressful because I get screens I like, which is very relaxing. Jason as well. You said that already, but yes. So here's a small TLDR on plans. No set date times on RPs anymore. They'll come on as we want them to. Please don't expect set dates/times anymore, as we'll only post set dates when we have things in a state we want them, which could be many days, months, whenever, or so. Whenever it is we choose to post series RPs, they will not be on this channel. They'll be on my other channel, aphmau Stories, unless something changes. Obviously, something did change, there's that like the I can't remember if like aphmau stories got rebranded to MyStreet one last time, the channel that exists currently, or whether or not that was like a whole separate thing. I think it's a whole separate thing. But yeah, like obviously, you know, this is aphmau's living by the advice I gave myself years ago and never took of making your own making a unique channel for this unique series that's as it is being prepared. Shouldn't take the map pad advice out of you know, keeping that consistent and, you know, having like YouTube like, you know, generate that engagement for you rather than you know, go ahead and rather than like having to, you know, wait for a while and they cause like different hypes and like have people you know, interact with like the surveys and whatnot. But I mean, it seems to be working out decently so far. But yeah, was looking to expand different types of storytelling mediums like animation. Again, that also happened because they said it's going to be fully animated. Not saying stone, but a fun idea. I don't actually meant like animation as in like 2D or 3D traditionally, or whether or not she meant Minecraft animation. It could, again, it could be either one. I want to conclude MyStreet Season 7 at some point, but I'm not sure how yet, and that will take a long while to decide what I want to do. This post was made at the start of 2021 to run people, so that's, yeah, it did take a while. Thank you guys so much for supporting me through everything. If you can wait for me or not is your choice, but it's a decision that, countless enough, really helps me as a creator. Some of you have been with me for many years. We've been making content for 8 years now, and lots of you have grown up. You probably look at me differently now. I won't be that star that shines to you forever, but it makes me happy that in some way I was a part of a chapter in your life and could put a smile on your face. I'll always be here making content. If you ever want to come see me again, I'll be here waiting. Just make sure you're happy. Love, aphmau. Other than, like, you know, a beautiful way to end that, like, you know, the line of like, I won't be that star that shines to you forever. That one really hits, like, especially when I read this for the first time. Because, I mean, this is about the same time that I worked out why I wasn't enjoying the modern aphmau content as much anymore. Because they are so, like, deep into character, but not, like, into characters and, like, you know, MyStreet characters like they did with minigames, but into, like, caricatures of themselves. It feels impersonal. One of the main reasons why I admired aphmau so much and still do, is the fact that you know, is the fact that like the show was her baby entirely, was like, you know, dependent on student interference or whatnot, but also it was something that she like put the effort into, saw the results for, and did the way that she wanted. I guess give or take a few like rush bits here and there, I suppose, as the case may be. And that was like, you know, again, hugely inspirational. But not only that, but also the other uploads on her channel, of which, you know, I saw plenty back in the day. They showed off that, yeah, she was definitely like the type of person who can make the content you like the racing content you watch. You can see how it would come from this person, and it kind of facilitated that. The two of them went hand in hand. You know how there's like some like products that are intrinsically tied to their creators? Think like Undertale and Toby Fox, for example. That kind of like dynamic where it's difficult to separate one from the other because it's so like ingrained. That's what it feels like. And that's one of the reasons it's so fascinating. Like, not just because it's like a generally great show, but also because of like that extra layer that you don't get from most other things. And this was the last community post to me that felt like you know, a real like personal one from aphmau, at least for some time, because I scrolled through, you know, a lot of this stuff, you know, to get to this point, because obviously it was a post was made like nearly 4 years ago, so of course I had to scroll through a bunch of stuff, and most of it is just limited to like merch releases. aphmau used to say like her community channel was like the place to check for like, you know, character details or updates on the shows and things like that, and it was. She was saying in live streams, read the community tab, you would have known this information if you had, and stuff like that.
Now it's merch.
But yeah, exactly, now it's merch. And subscriber celebrations. Those two. But yeah, between those, there's not really much else. Like the subscribe ones, admittedly, hitting all those milestones like so quickly together, you're going to end up running out of ways to like express your thanks in a different manner. So those I understand, but the merch ones, you know, they got even though they were different products, they got repetitive. That's what I mean of the sense of like it is not as attached, and it took until you know the VidCon announcement, where well, I'll say, like, actually, no, it took until last year's VidCon, really, of, you know, of, like, some aspects of that coming back, where, like, you know, she announced there was, like, a possibility of a new MyStreet season, like, you know, a year earlier, and people, like, lost their minds about that. That's ones where, like, even during the Q&As, we actually saw, like, a little bit of, like, you know, the history behind her, and, you know, some of the stuff that's, you know, the older people, like, knew about, but yeah, like, you know, like interacting with like the new audience, you can tell based on the age of people asking the questions, like just their general voices, they are the new audience. Let's be real. they were not born or able to use computers when MyStreet was airing. But they're there now, and that's fantastic. But yeah, then that's that next year where, you know, everything started to come back. That's when it was like, oh, well, there's still great, but there's still here. And I was super excited for two reasons. You know, one was because, you know, oh my gosh, my favorite show is coming back. Of course I'm going to be hyped for that. And it's finally going to have the ending that I knew was always meant to have, you know. The person who said that the ending was meant to be, you know, that it was to be unhappy. No, it wasn't. It was a cliffhanger, for crying out loud. I know I said there wasn't one at the end of it, but I mean, like, the cliffhanger motivation was different in MyStreet, not because of the show engagement. But the second reason was because while that was going on, while that trailer was playing, the first time that we saw that, like, even just a few moments in, seeing aphmau and Aaron back in the Phoenix Drop High, like, set, like, you know, forms, the crowd went wild. The crowd of new members, the people who I thought had, like, either never knew the older version of the older aphmau content or just forgot it straight up, which made me realize that, you know, my fear when I started 5 years later of, you know, the newer stuff, the older stuff being forgotten, like, even that quickly from the beginning to the end of 2020, basically, like, that fear was unfounded. Because you don't cheer for like that for something that you have no, like, investment in. That was like cheers of, like, joy of, like, finally this is happening, and oh my gosh, does it look fantastic, and I am having all the emotions right now, and all of that great stuff. And that was from the people at VidCon, the newer ones, and the older ones as well, the ones who were, like, so excited, like, you know, Aiden knew it was going down, so he was obviously, like, you know, he also freaked out. He has his own reaction on his channel, and other people did as well. And it reinvigorated things, and that snowballed into, you know, some, like, candid posts from aphmau on, like, TikTok and things, but also the MyStreet, you know, One Last Time channel asking about, like, our favorite moments of the series, acknowledging the older families. Honestly, for the first time since this post. Because that's the last time that she really talked about, like, role plays in any sort of form, aside from referencing them as, like, you know, visual pieces, which came across as almost a way to, you know, to tease people or to try, like, trick them into, like, this is, like, promising something in the video, and not really having much surrounding that, or being warped in some way was, like, unrecognizable anyway, which is also another reason I don't like the new content as much. But yeah, like that, like, from that point onwards, it made me realize that, you know, that yeah, like aphmau the person is still in there and is still, like, willing to, like, shine out and not be, like, hidden behind the brand as it seemed. That idea, you know, when I first read that, I won't be that star that shines to you forever, and that being the last thing that I heard, like, was, like, that felt like personally from aphmau rather than something that was a bit more, like, calculated or, like, you know, possibly you know, pushed aside. Like, that hit super harshly, but it makes me realize that, you know, going back and reading the rest of the post as well, the fact that she says, like, they're not done yet, they still have stories to tell, stories, plural. We might have to wait for a bit longer for them, but
2030.
Yeah, to 2030, yeah. but we're gonna be there, and it gives a reason to hold on, rather than having to do what I did and basically fabricate a reason. Like I mentioned this before, but like shortly before 5 Years Later started, I actually had a very terrible breakup with a person who has a connection to aphmau. That's all I'll say about that. But there was something there, and aphmau was something. The content was also something that we personally connected over. And as soon as that ended, as it was like fizzling out. Actually, it was like a period was like fizzled out beforehand. Like that like I was no longer able to, I guess, like watch aphmau even, because like I just thought about the person. So again, 5 Years Later was like also another way for me to personally like come out of that, and it worked, for the record. Yeah. There's still to this day, but I keep forgetting to go back and actually watch all the videos that I actually missed out on during that period, because I go back on them and I actually watch them. I was like, oh wow, this is exactly what it felt like back in the day. It wasn't just like I was in a different, it was a different like period of my life, which it was, but it's like, no, this actually does have a different feeling to it. It kind of like justified that in a sense. But yeah, like all of that stuff and all of that, all of that waiting paid off, and that's what it really comes down to. People are willing to wait for this stuff as if and if they know that's going to pay off. And we know now that this day that I had been somewhat dreading, but also anticipating, as far as 5 Years Later goes, is not the end. And again, I could not be happy about that. Wouldn't change a thing.
Yep. I mean, mentally, you still need to figure out how to end this episode.
I mean, this speech was really the ending of
Outro wise.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Apart from just clarifying, yes, it is one time. So it is the it is the same channel, the one where everything went to fizzle out, but it's now been repurposed. Okay. Might steal that star saying. Well, I mean, I hope you don't have to, because the thing is that aphmau was wrong here. At least I think so. To me, that there's just still a star that like shines forever somewhere. I mean, you might not always like look at the same stars in the sky, but they're always there and they're always shining for you. Don't get into the science of like most of them are dead and whatnot, but no, I'm not.
With the science behind what now? The science behind what? Huh?
The analogy falls apart if you think about it too much.
I didn't hear the full analogy, so
don't worry about it then. I'm just writing the gens and pronouns of the research free on the counter notes. Yep. Okay.
Wait till we get raided.
Yeah. What is a raid? Oh,
we get
a
raided.
Bunch of people that are new here to our channel.
Yeah. If we actively did get raided, hello, Jacob's being depressed.
Well, I mean, the views on like Restream don't really say that, but I wanted to make the Gricko breaks the fourth wall reference, and a raid is here.
Angela.
Oh, what's that? Who's Angela? Rebel doesn't understand any of those words in that order. I can't project as much anymore because there are people here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still can't. I still can't tell if there's actually a raid or not.
No, it doesn't look like it. Normally raids have like a bunch of like comments and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, a party of 2 raiders. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Now it makes more sense. There's 2 raiders, but okay.
Fair enough. I was in Santiago today, actually. That's a fitting name. That's where I flew from. But yeah, okay. But as you were asking about how to end this episode and how to end 5 Years Later, well, I can think of no better way than, well, first of all, by taking off this community post because it's just depressing. Yeah. I can think of no better way than to raise up and do one final Levi drink. I guess to this, to everything, to the people who've watched this, to MyStreet 5 Years Later, to MyStreet itself, To aphmau and the entire team behind that, to all the guests that have helped out over the years. This final leave I drink is for everyone.
Cheers. I'll drink something too. That was good.
Wonderful.
And who knows? Maybe we'll come back 5 years later to review season 7. We don't know when that thing is coming out.
Well, yes. So of course, when season 7 does come out, I will make reviews of it at the time. But as far as 5 years later goes, you know, that's,
it will take at least 5 years for us to come back.
Absolutely. That's why I said by 2030 will be the official time. In between that time, of course, I did make a promise during 5 years later that when I got to the end of this, I would start documenting my process of going from a complete novice to a full-on expert on My Little Pony. So that's also a thing that's going to happen.
What?
Yeah. So that was my major promise. There was an episode that was like had a bunch of like MLP references I didn't get, and I said once 5 years later finishes, I will watch My Little Pony. I don't know how I'm gonna work out the logistics of that, like copyright wise, but we'll see what happens. So that's the next major project. You know, to fill in the
hole,
the content vacuum. Yes.
Yep.
As well. Yeah. As
and
well
then
as
tune it up,
views
I get my own series. Yay!
Absolutely. See,
so
you're like the new character they just like at the end of like the last season of a show. That's like that gets like a backdoor pilot to like their own spin-off. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yay! I originally starting from just DMing you guys, and now we're here, and I'm being forced to watch anything Jacob wants me to at this point.
How did the image come to be? I never understood it. Well, yes, the Leave I Drink came about because in one of the two posters, there's two posters actually that aphmau used for senpai posters. In the big move, I think this was actually the first episode of 5 years later. But the way that he like holds them, he's like has like two teacups. He's like holds them like this or something. I was like, who holds tea like that? You can't drink from there. And then I tried it, and you can. And I was like, okay, I'm calling this the Leave I Drink now. And then every moment has like a moment that I toast with a Leave I Drink. And that was the idea for the series. So
Ghost Kitty is trying to coerce you into joining the remains of the MLP fandom.
I don't need to be coerced. I made a promise. I'm doing it.
I will be backing up heavily. I am not going near whatever is happening in that situation. I don't want to touch that. I don't want those germs to spread into my system, and I am inevitably forced to join that fandom. I do not want to take part. I can't. No. I've already forced into too many things by this man right here. I'm not going into more.
It's fine. Look, there's like one fandom that you're going to you're slowly being indoctrinated into. That's enough for the time being.
For the time being. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Well, I mean, you know, obviously you've seen here eventually these things come to an end. So
yep.
You know,
and
the question that becomes what then?
And I am glad, even though I was not really here for that much, I was here for the end. I stuck through it as long as I physically could, and even though it feels weird that it was only your newest guest here, and we didn't get Aiden, William, or any of your older guests, we still did what we could. The show lasted for long. The show made it to its inevitable finite end, and until at least 2030, this show will take a break.
Yeah,
maybe
but you can bet that we'll be back to once again.
Once again sneeze. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, to once again sneeze and discuss all the stories that aphmau is willing to tell. Same time, same place, 5 years later. Until then, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. As I've done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.
Wait, that's the edge of my bed. Oh.